Well, we've gone and done it. We finally decided to take the leap. We've gone from talking about homesteading to actually doing homesteading. We tried to make a wise decision on this. We tried to get a piece of property that's not going to cost us an arm and a leg, and it's not going to take us to the cleaners every month and be struggling to pay for it. So we ran all the numbers on that and got that all straightened out. Now we can afford to do that, because the last thing you want to do is put all kinds of work and effort and stuff into a piece of property and then lose it because, well, frankly, you didn't count the costs. So you got to make sure that you count the costs and make sure you can do it. And then you go and do it. The only problem we have with this one, the only sticking point in this one, is 300 miles away. But the price was right. And it's where we want to be eventually. So what we've done is we've had to make base camp. Base camp's an important thing because you've got to have somewhere to sleep, you've got to have somewhere to function and do things that you normally would do otherwise while you're working on the homestead. Because you're not going to go there and just camp out under the stars, especially, you know, if you're not 20 years old or something. If you're 20 years old, chances are you don't have the wherewithal to do this. You get a little bit older, well, you know, you might creak a little bit when you get up and down. It might not be the easiest thing in the world, and me, I'm 50, so I've got to sleep somewhere. When you want a homestead, the first thing you got to do, of course, is buy a good hunk of property, which is what I do believe we've come up with here. And so then you got to load all your worldly possessions on your trailer. Yep, right there, you're looking at them. That's everything that we figure we'll need. And then you got to come out and set up base camp. So you find the best spot where you think you could put up a tent, but not where you want to build your house, of course. And we really like this area in amongst these trees. There's plenty of shade because it can get blessed hot in the summer. And so here we are. We're going to have to mow this down and get it ready and set up base camp. Here we are at Keeper of the Mountain Base Camp for the homestead. Yeah, take a look around here. Got all the comforts of home. Now there's a few important things. One is room. You've really got to make sure you have room. So we spread out. We've got a tent there for one of my sons. There's a tent for the other. So they're over there in that part. Then we have our kitchen tent here. That's our kitchen with our stove and our table and all that kind of stuff. And we're starting this in the spring, right after the rainy season, so that we don't get buried and we can get something built by the time winter arrives. We got to get right on that. But in the meantime, there's no sense in suffering with the inconveniences of life. Take a look at the tent that my wife and I are staying in. This is a little bigger. Yeah, it's a 3-room tent. It's got a screened-in porch. Some people pay good money to do that on their house. Yeah, put little rugs down so we, you know, wipe our feet off. And then in here we have, check that out, a queen-size bed, box springs and mattress. Now that serves a couple of purposes. Will it give you room on the other side of the tent for all your gear, you know, your clothes and such, but also you're not sleeping right on the ground, and you can walk when you wake up in the morning. The idea is to get it, make it simple, make it functional, make it comfortable, and be able to wake up refreshed in the morning and start building. So our next step is the outhouse. We got to build an outhouse. Welcome to Base Camp. KeeperoftheMountain.com.